I took it all. My boyfriend and I broke up a few months ago, but there have been complications with the apartment because we are both on the lease, and blah blah blah. But I found a new place to live and moved out last weekend. I got the important stuff out, but there were still a few small boxes left and I didn't go through the kitchen because I didn't know what my new roommate had. My ex helped me move, and everything was going very well and we were being cordial. Well, last night, my ex asked me to come over to pick up a few of the small boxes that were in the closet, and to say hi to his dog who was sad that I was gone. So, I go over there, we are hanging out. I play with his dog. Everything is good. Then I asked him if he minded if I took the dish brush because my new house didn't have one. I asked because I bought this dish brush just a couple weeks ago, and I even splurged on a nicer one, like $5 lol. Side note, I am the only person in our relationship who ever bought household items like this. I just moved into a new place where the rent is higher. I've had to pay for a moving truck, and all the other little things associated with moving somewhere new. The last thing I want to do is go to the store and drop another $50 or so buying a bunch of little things I literally just bought a couple weeks ago. Apparently asking for the dish brush triggered him, and he made the ridiculous dictate, at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, mind you, that I could take anything that's mine tonight, but anything that was there when I left that night would be his property now. I, annoyed, said no, that I don't agree to this. I immediately said the dish brush was not a big deal. I told him that I did not come prepared, with boxes, bags, etc., to get everything I wanted from the kitchen. I said I could do this tomorrow or any other day of his choosing. I begged him to compromise. I told him I wouldn't take the dish brush or anything that he said he wanted. However, he only tripled down, and refused to budge from his ridiculous demand. So, I became very irate. I told him that if he was going to make me move all my dishes out in plastic trash bags tonight, that I was going to take every last thing that was mine. Again, I am the only person who ever bought anything like pots, spices, utensils, cleaning supplies, etc. I was planning on leaving most of it with him because my new roommate already has a lot of this stuff. But I decided that if he was going to make such a ridiculous rule, then I would take it all. I took the dish brush, the sponges, used and unused, all my spices, the soap, the utensils, all the pots, the Tupperware, the toothpicks, the toilet paper, the pillows, the wall hooks, the coat hangers. I even took the light bulbs. I took it all. Did I yell? Yes. Was I petty? Absolutely. But I think it is quite petty to make a demand on the spot, that everything I don't take tonight becomes his when this was not the pretense under which I came over, and I was obviously not prepared. Now to the comments. OMFG, I did this to roommates once. They were awful, never washed their dishes, something was broken literally any time I left the house, they'd leave food mess in the kitchen for weeks, etc. One day me and one of them got into it and she yelled, everything in this house is yours, that's yours, and that's yours, and everything in there is yours, etc. Mind you, this started because I asked if she knew who broke the pantry door from its hinges. I'd like to add that the reason everything was mine was that none of them had anything moving in, and came up with excuses as to why they couldn't get something, like a broom or lamp. So, I looked around and thought yes, everything in here is mine. So, I moved out a month early without telling them. I paid my share of rent for the last month, and my share of the other bills was up to date, but I moved out with all my stuff while they were at work. The dishes, living room furniture, kitchen table/chairs, cleaning supplies like broom, mop, and vacuum, the floor lamps in the living room that had no wired lights, the washer and dryer, the internet router. I cancelled the internet that was in my name after all. Toilet paper and paper towels, garbage bags, garbage cans, shower curtains, plunger. Basically, anything that wasn't in their own bedrooms were mine, so I took them. Petty? Yes. But it sure felt good. I would love to know the fallout, if possible. Honestly, don't have much to say. 2 of the 3 of them immediately blocked me on all social media. The third met up with me to get the security deposit a month-ish later and we never spoke again. That was 6 years ago. He can buy it back at your garage sale. I love this comment. It's just perfect. Cake day triplets. I found out an ex was cheating and moved out while he was at work. I found out he was cheating with like 3 months left on our lease. We decided he'd move into the second bedroom, what we were using as an office, and his new GF wouldn't be allowed over until our lease was up. That lasted a whole week. I told him since she's not on the lease she can't stay at our place. He argued he'd just take me off the lease as a threat, because I have a fear of being homeless from childhood. I called his bluff and he did it the next day. Unbeknownst to him, I had actually preemptively been looking at new places closer to my school so I could give up my car. I had been looking with some friends. We found a super affordable house that was ready sooner than I thought we needed, but I called the guy and he approved the 3 of us and we got the keys. So, a couple days of being taken off the lease, I started my move. Moved all my bedroom stuff out first so he didn't notice. Then the second day while he was at work, my friends and I took everything. I was actually too naive to do it. One of my friends just started packing up things I was going to leave. One of our last arguments was that I should pay for more of the toilet paper because I'm a girl. He made $80,000 a year and I was going to community college and living on savings, and everything was 50-50 because I had cats and I was young and didn't know better. Even though all of the furniture was mine. He didn't like to clean and ate frozen meals or off paper plates, so I had to pay for 100% of cleaning supplies too, and do all of the cleaning. To not deal with arguments, I just bought all that toilet paper too. She ripped the shower curtain down even though our new place had glass doors in the bath. Rolled the toilet paper off the wall and took it. Put the sink sponge in a Ziploc. Literally the only thing left was his computer plus desk, his clothes in a pile. I bought the hangers, the guest bed, and guest dresser, and 1 mug. Also, the girl he cheated on me with and moved into the apartment was banging her meth dealer and using my ex as a gravy train for her plus her dealer. He paid all of her bills and came over on my birthday a couple months later to drop off my mail, gloat how she cooks and cleans without fights. About 6 months later he calls me freaking out. She stole all of his new furniture and emptied his bank account. Look at God. My uncle was cruel to his first ex-wife when he left her and took everything. Nothing was left. He remarried and this wife left him, cheating/drugs. The ex-wives concocted a plan and did the same thing to him, but worse, they gutted the place. I love this story. The ex-wives still get coffee to this day 30+ years. Hollywood needs to make this sequel to The First Wives Club. Even the light bulbs, hilarious. Just like the Grinch. They even took the roast beast. He invited you over because the dog was sad. Nah, he wanted to have sex with you one last time and got pissed when you started talking about dish brushes instead. This is so accurate, lol. I hate to disagree, but I do. A nice brush is really something special. If it does the job and is ergonomic, uses soap efficiently, and the bristles have just the right amount of scratch to clean stuck foodstuff while also being soft enough to spread over a large surface area and not fling soapy water everywhere, you've got one heck of a brush that absolutely deserves all-out water secure. You may never find one quite like it again. I've done this before. I had an extremely passive-aggressive roommate who lied about me to the landlord and tried to get me kicked out. My sister and I decided to get an apartment together, and I only told my landlord I was moving out when the lease was up. I ended up paying double rent for 1 month, but it was worth it because as soon as my new landlord let me know I could move in, I packed up all my stuff that night while my roommate was sleeping. My roommate was always so cheap and would refuse to contribute anything to the house and would even refuse to buy light bulbs for the bathroom. We showered in the dark for a couple weeks before I caved and bought them. I took everything that night, the table and chairs, the pots, the dishes, the dish soap, the light bulbs, furniture in the living room, etc., and put it in my room. I even put all my groceries in a cooler outside because it was the middle of winter in Utah and there was enough snow outside to keep them cold. The next day I got a text from the landlord saying my roommate accused me of stealing some of her things. I told him to call the police and we can talk about it because I took absolutely 0 items I didn't purchase myself. They never brought it up again. I moved out with all my stuff that day, and I wonder what poor soul had to be her roommate next. One with her own furniture? Hope you took the doormat. People always forget the doormat. The way he was treating her, I'd have shredded the doormat and left it as a symbol of her fighting against him. Or the symbolic. Now you'll have to find a new doormat.